Hi, I'm Pastor Dee from Kirkland United Methodist Church, and this is FYI, what you want to know about stained glass. Stained glass is fairly synonymous with churches nowadays, as you can see right behind me. Every church building seems to have beautiful stained glass, and many of us want to see what it looks like on the inside. I'm inviting you today that if you have a church in your area that you really want to see what the stained glass looks like, call that church. They would be thrilled to have you visit and see the beauty that is their building. So in the churches, the reason that it was first begun is because it created an atmosphere when the light came in through the stained glass that created prisms and rainbows and bathed the congregation in other colors other than daylight. It created an atmosphere that was not the normal, it was the super normal, so that those that were worshiping could feel like they were in heaven. And that's why stained glass is sometimes called the windows to heaven. In the 7th century, stained glass began to be used in religious buildings. The monastery of St. Peter's in Britain is the first building that is a religious building that we know of that had stained glass windows. That became so popular that the Catholic Church decided to bring as many artisans, stained glass artisans, under their patronage as possible. What this means is that they were paid a good sum to work exclusively for the Catholic Church, as the Catholic Church expanded its church building program throughout Europe. Stained glass is not a European invention. Matter of fact, it has been around from ancient times. We have found stained glass beads and household items in archaeological sites from Roman to Egypt and throughout the Mediterranean area. But it was not adopted until the 7th century, and then eventually the 14th century is when you saw it really expand, the 1300s. This style of stained glass is called the Gothic style. And this is what you think of when you think of stained glass. The colors are very dark and saturated, and they put them together like a mosaic. And they cut the pieces of stained glass, and then they welded them together with lead. And through a mosaic look, you got an image. And it was a gorgeous image. In the Gothic style, most of the images were used as educational for those that were worshiping. Many people during that time were uneducated. So reading the Bible and the Bible stories were not part of their daily life. But they could come into a church, could actually look to a window, and they could see the characters in that story or the actions of that story, and they could immerse themselves in the telling and the feeling of what that story meant to them. The Gothic style of stained glass lasted until the 1500s. At that time, they decided to move it into a slightly different style. The colors weren't as saturated. More light went into the building. It was a gauzy, pale kind of colors. You'll see that this church that I'm in, the Kirkland United Methodist Church, has stained glass windows from the classic period. Our colors are pinks and purples and light, and they allow as much light in as they diffuse the light. They cause prisms and rainbows. So part of the classical style is that you see a lot of Christian symbolism in the windows instead of exact pictures of an event. Churches are thrilled to share with you their stained glass windows. If you would like to see some in your area, please just give them a call, and they will be happy to have you in or show you around and let you know the history of their windows. This is a new series that was started just this week, and it's called FYI, for your information, and we're going to be talking about different subjects each time that we meet. Next week, Friday, we will be talking about St. Valentine's and what he has meant and what he means to us today. The congregation of Kirkland United Methodist Church and I wish you a week of beauty and love. God bless.